Hi, my name's Jonathan and I just want to spend a few minutes talking to you about dyslexia and how my diagnosis has affected me. So I was only diagnosed 2 years ago, and it was actually through a workshop I attended at work. On learning about dyslexia, we actually undertook a little assessment which actually scored me in showing traits of dyslexia. This has led me on a bit of a journey about myself, education, and actually what I can achieve from life, so to speak. I believe I'd always known, even when back in secondary school and college, that there had been some sort of weaknesses there on my part. Because even though I really enjoyed education, I sometimes found myself just not being fully sort of engaged with it, or like really, I was tiring. I got easily distracted, and almost when teachers would ask questions, I knew I knew the answer, but I was scared of speaking up, because I always had this sort of anxiety or fear that what I say was going to be wrong. So I did actually have quite a good experience in school, and I actually managed to achieve fairly fair grades throughout this. But one of the problems with my confidence was I never really excelled at anything, and this really sort of made me make choices that actually I probably do regret today. Some of those were actually focusing more on creative. So basically, college, university, I focused a lot of my time around IT and web development, IT law. Even though actually from a very young age and the influences of teachers that I've had in the past, I always wanted to get into training, I wanted to get into education, but I think I let the voice deaf out anything else, and I pushed ahead with something that actually, if I was true to myself, I probably could have told you before I even studied any of these courses that it wasn't going to be my professional goal in life. Now, this isn't all a sad story, because actually through work experience and working in retail, working in an environment where I was helping people, fundraising, I actually, because these were more practical elements, this has grown a confidence in me, which actually saw me enroll onto a teaching qualification. And actually now I'm working in an environment where I am teaching people, I'm working with people one-to-one, I'm helping them achieve what their objectives are, which actually is very sort of strange feeling to myself, because actually 10 years ago I wouldn't have been able to advise people. I would have been the person that needed advice. So looking at sort of dyslexia, what I found out is my strengths are actually, even though I'm not the most confident person in the world, it's talking. So when I'm learning, I thrive and I really can engage with the learning experience by talking through ideas, by watching videos, by listening to podcasts. It just seems to be the way that I actually learn better. I'm not saying that this will work for everyone else, because I believe we're all on our own journey. We've all got to find the best platform for yourselves, but it's getting away from, actually, when you think back to education and this teacher standing at the front, you taking notes, if that's not the way you learn, there are plenty other ways you can do that. And it's about you finding that enthusiasm, about you finding that passion, about you finding that goal to really push forward with this. I, 5 years ago, probably wouldn't be the person that you see before you now. So 5 years ago, if I set the scene a little bit, I was working for a company, Sports Direct, as a casual sales assistant. I was working on a 0 hours contract, and let's be honest to myself, I wasn't really going anywhere. Then a catalyst happened, and I really got that sort of fire in my gut, because I wanted to do what I've always wanted to do, and that's influence people, to support people. So I actually went and volunteered at a local school. This grew in me some confidence that then allowed me to go and apply for other jobs and ultimately achieve them. What we've got to be looking at doing, and this has been my path, is you find your strength, find your passion, and really move forward with that. my biggest achievement was actually getting out of that rut of working 15 hours a week and getting that full-time job in which I was working with people daily. And that's when I started crafting my skills. I improved, I grew in confidence, I was doing research, I knew what I was talking about with people. And that's where I'm at now. I mean, if we look at my education from nursery up to my initial degree, which is around computer science, have I used much of that? Probably not. But the core skills I've got from putting myself out there, talking with people, getting a job, which then put me through a foundation degree in careers guidance, to then applying for teaching qualifications, to recently achieving my PGCE, to getting a lot of experience around working with different people, with different issues, with different barriers. That's my school. My school's working with the people, getting some hands-on experience, and just really, really working at it. So I would say that I have had my moments, and that initial diagnosis did massively knock my confidence. I'm not going to lie to you. To suddenly be sort of stereotyped with this word, this disability, this dyslexia, it was really, really sort of like a stressful time for me, and it made me think, actually, I'm not going to go anywhere. What I must say to you is, it's wrong. This label, this disability, it's not a disability being dyslexic. It's just you thrive in different environments. You've got different skills. You're a rock that needs to be carved, and you need to carve yourself using the skills, and really, really sort of be working at things. Yeah, it might take longer for you to sort of learn things by books. I love to read. It takes me probably twice as long as most people do, but it doesn't. The only barrier you're going to impose on yourself is you, and that's not for pulling through with things. You've got to really, really work at your craft. You've got to be passionate. That's the word. Honestly, just keep moving forward and keep learning. Life's a learning experience, and if we take the sort of strengths and skills that we learn on a daily basis, we'll always start moving forward. So, looking at sort of who my role models are, and if I'm being honest, I wouldn't have any of these sort of big named role models like Richard Branson. Actually, the role models I have around dyslexia or other learning impairments would be the people I work with on a daily basis, the people that actually they've turned what people define as a disability into a strength, and that's what I would massively urge you guys to be doing. The advice I would have given myself 15 years ago, and the advice I'm going to give to yourselves now, is don't let it hold you back, because it's not the dyslexia that's holding you back, it's you. You've got to find a way to work through it, and honestly, it'll happen. Explore different ways to learn. Try different things. If you work better hands-on, go and get some volunteering experience. If you work better using videos, YouTube's a wealth of knowledge there for you. It's about finding your own path, your own route to success. And that's where you now must take your journey. Just to finish off, the greatest lesson that being dyslexic has actually taught me is that there is no failure. There's only not trying. So listen to the words that I've said today, take what you want from it, but ultimately enjoy your journey and keep learning.